Hello and welcome to Centurion's Corner. And today we're going to be doing a bit of an upgrade. Going to do it live. So this is just going to be one where you can sit back. I'm recording the actual video as it goes. So this is a time to like lay back, watch me do it in silence, ask questions as we go through. So it's just going to be one of those little Sunday afternoon ones. So we're going to do Book of Boba Fett. Well, it's not Book of Boba Fett, it's the Throne Room Boba Fett, which is this guy here. And now I went out the other week, took some pictures with Black Xanthan and stuff like that, and I'm just not happy with this guy. There's a few bits of details that just kind of I feel like is a little bit of a letdown to this guy. Mainly his helmet. The helmet just doesn't really fit onto the actual character itself. There's like a massive gap underneath. It just doesn't fit flush onto the actual figure itself. It's absolutely like awful, in my opinion. Compared to this one, which is the sort of Jedi ruins, is it Typhon Boba Fett? The actual helmet fits straight over the top, easy, a little bit loose as well, which is fine. I'd rather have it loose than a tight helmet, that is for sure. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know if it will show up, but there's like a skull cap. It's a bit of that darker color inside the actual helmet itself. And yeah, it just hinders as it fits onto the actual head. It just doesn't fit all the way down. Swapping it over and pushing that one down, it just fits absolutely fine. So I want it to fit like this. So that's one of the main modifications we're going to do for this figure. And the other parts really is just going to be sort of like darken up some of the browns, giving him some extra chip-ins, some extra little details there on the gauntlet parts and stuff. Probably some black wash down here, and maybe just a little bit of sort of sandy color, sort of like just brushed over this. We're going to give him a lot of detail to make him really pop. So that's what I'm going to do. So just sit back, ask questions as I go through. As I said, I'm going to be recording it, so it'll be another video as well, which will just purely be the upgrading of the actual figure, so you can see the process a little bit more there, because the camera for live is absolutely awful. So that's kind of it really. So off we go. So I've got to make sure I get the right helmet and all of these parts down here. For some stupid reason, I didn't get any of my paints ready, so that'll be another process as it goes. But I have got my Dremel, so if you don't like the dentist, I would recommend maybe a mute for about 5 minutes. Maybe I might mute you guys if it's a little bit too much, but it shouldn't be too long. All I've got to do is Dremel down that plastic on the inside there, just so it sits a little bit more flush with the actual figure itself. So I'll start with a sort of like a slow speed on the Dremel. And I don't know if you can get these from like any sort of DIY shops, like a little hand drill, about £10. They come with loads of attachments. This one I've got a giant ball point on the end here. It's like a bit like a sandpaper, but in a sort of like a hard ball on the top. I want it sort of round so I can actually get in and around on the grooves. So away we go. Hello, Tom. How you doing, mate? So yeah, inside there's like all this sort of like really thick plastic inside the actual helmet itself. So I just tried to keep pushing it down, but I mean, loads of it's come out. And in fact, I've just literally just pulled the last part of it, so there's none in there whatsoever. Just be really careful as you're going down because the helmet itself is actually quite thin. So I can actually see my finger through some of the bits there. So I don't know if I dribbled too much, but I haven't gone through the other side of the plastic. But now it literally fits right over the actual figure. There's no sort of like neck. Well, you can see the neck obviously when I lift it right up, but yeah, it looks straight away. It's how it should be. It looks so much better. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So now it's going to go off, and I just all I have to do is paint the figure. So happy days. And it just due to that little bit of that helmet not fitting onto the actual figure made me dislike the actual character or the helmet or the figure, shall I say, a lot more. So straight away, that's already made me a bit more happy about it. So first of all, I'm just going to get some gunmetal and I'm going to paint up the guns here. So we've got some flat black, which we'll probably use. Flat black again for semi-gloss black. Going to use the buff probably today. Definitely use the silver. There's the gunmetal. I think that's probably about it. I think that's all we're going to probably need. Oh, probably the browns as well. So red, brown. Okay. Right. What's this brown? NATO brown. So yeah, I'll probably use those. Don't use this anymore. Let's get this out of the way. You went to Comic Con. Nice. Did you pick up any goodies? Did you get anything nice? Did you get anything retro? I always start off these things. But do you know what? I've got a great idea. I'll go live and I'll do the video because I just feel it when I'm a bit more spontaneous. I go, right, I just got to go and do it. I can't do it. And I never get anything ready. So I've got my art towel, which I use to wipe my brushes down, but I never get anything ready. Picked up a vintage Yoda for a great deal. Nice. Was it complete? Was it pretty cool? And hi, Logan. Hope you're doing well, mate. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to get a simple brush and we're going to paint up the guns with a bit of gunmetal. Lovely, lovely. It was complete, and my dad reconned everything original, but we are not sure about the K. Oh, nice. Well, if he's near enough 100% original, that's pretty good. Didn't he come with a snake as well, didn't he, old Kenner one? Yeah, well, thanks. It was my 18th Friday, and I treated myself to the Star Killer set. Nice. It's not a bad buy, that. For 100 is it 110? I keep I'm annoying about it. I mean, there's no way I can just go out and get it, but yeah, even having a couple extra Stormtroopers on the shelf is definitely it's definitely a bonus for sure. Right, so I just think some extra chip-ins for sure over this guy. There's some extra little bits around here. These parts definitely need a bit more of an upgrade on the colour. The good thing about this Boba Fett, it didn't really have a lot of markings or scratches and stuff, which is cool. So I'm going to have to minimise you guys down a little bit for a sec, just so I can get some reference pictures as up. So I normally use Hot Toys. It's just like most of the time people take pictures of their Hot Toy figures, and I mean they've already done the research for you, so there's probably no reason why, unless you know that there's something just not quite right sticking out about it. Then you go off and look at some screen accurate stuff. Sometimes the colors are a little bit weird, but generally Hot Toys is pretty much a good place to go, especially for all the scratches and markings and stuff like that. So I'm just going to get through this guy. I just want to sort of double check on his sort of like his sort of knee pad rocket stuff. Can't remember for the silver on the side. So looking at some images up and close, I can have a see on these. Yeah. Right, so here we're back. Sorry, I was just going off looking through a few bits there, gathering up a few bits. Single race, I'll have to wait if you missed him. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the single release of Star Killer. So hopefully that'll be all right. All right, so just looking at that, so just going to add some silver to some of the chip-ins and some of the gauntlet parts and around on the edge. He doesn't really have a lot of it. There's a few other silver areas as well on his jetpack around at the top here as well. So we're just going to add some of those. I couldn't really see if like his wrist, like the gauntlet parts or the rocket darts are silver, but I'm going to make them silver anyway, just to give it that extra little bit of detail, to be honest. You think as they release these as like a deluxe figure that they would actually increase the paint application, especially on these parts on there. There's loads of silver, like little on the dials and stuff that are not being painted, which is just a bit annoying, really. I'm just going to get the details on it before I go off and do scuff marks and other parts. So I kind of want to look at the other gauntlet, if I can get another image of that. So he's got like the keypad on his gauntlet is black buttons. So we're just going to add those on there as well. That's kind of it there for that. Do-do-do-do. Right, come back. Just applied loads of silver just over the actual figure itself. So I'm just trying to come back. There we go. All right, so I've just applied just some extra silver. I don't know if it's going to shine up on this camera, but so I've just applied some extra silver to the. Is it going to zoom in? Just onto his gauntlet parts. See the buttons and other bits on there as well. Applied some more silver around on his chest, but not too much taken away. And we've applied some more sort of buttons and other little parts as well on this gauntlet as well. I don't know if you can see the buttons. So I've added like black buttons to there. Added some silver to his shins, or his knee pads, shall we say, and the wrist darts. And on his helmet, I've just applied a little bit more silver around on the on his dent, and then we've applied this sort of silver little goobery thing on this cheek that he has on the helmet as well. So that's that. So I'm going to add some browns to his belt, just to break up the sort of like little parts on there, and then I think really it's going to be like a pretty much like a wash over the actual figure itself. Actually, while I got the silver out, probably had the silver sort of like dents as well over the gauntlets. Again, not too much, trying to keep in line with the with what we added already, as this was like a kind of like a fresh repaint of his armor, so he hasn't really seen much battles as of yet, as he was hanging with the Mando. All right, just got to need to look at his helmet actually, see if he's got any. See, to me, that's no, that's Book of Boba Fett. That's why. So there's me looking at the Hot Toys, and actually I'm looking at some stills now from season 2 Book of Boba, Mandalorian, and yeah, it's actually, he doesn't have that bit on his helmet. You know, that little weird sort of like stud thing he has on the side of his helmet. It's there, but it's green. So I'm just going to scrape that away. Okay, just there. Yeah. Kind of just don't like how plain the backpack is, so I'm just going to add. I just don't know. Like, there's no images really of his backpack. I just want to add a little bit more silver. Let's see if I can get. Ah. Oh, I just found a gold mine of pictures. Lovely. Mind you, it doesn't look like Hot Toys, eh? Yeah, there's not a lot of silver to add to the backpack. So I'm just going to do a few bits that they've done here, which is just a few little chip-ins and other little details that they've just added on. What's this little part around here? Yeah, I think I'll do. Just gonna add a couple of specs to his helmet, just like tiny little scratches. Oh no. Okay. Right, let's have a look at his gun. Okay. All right. Hi Lee, hope you're doing well, mate. I don't know if you're still here. I'm just off busy sort of painting away. So I just looked at the guns. There's quite a few different colours on it. So I've gone by what Hot Toys have done. I'm not really too fussed about his hand blaster. I just kind of gunmetaled it up and just chucked silver over the top of it. It's not probably super accurate, but you know, it follows in the line of Star Wars, so to say. But with the main bigger blaster, I need to go off and probably blackwash it as well now. But it's a bit messy at the moment. But to me, it's like it's got like a gold sort of barrel. It kind of looks a bit of a bronzy color. But so I've kind of done it as much as I can. Now I'm going to blackwash it. It's got a lot of silver parts on there as well, and the gold. And I think the gold is probably accurate because obviously we got gold on his belts and stuff. So I've gone away and added an extra brown to the underbelt around and added a bit of buff to the pouches as well. So it kind of looks like they're a bit worn, got a bit of sand kind of sort of marked on them and stuff like that. So all we need to do now is kind of blackwash the actual figure. Well, I always say blackwash. I don't really do blackwashing anymore. I kind of do it with dry brushing with black. I like to be a little bit more consistent with applying it. So rather than what I say with blackwash is kind of like you just do it and hope for the best. But with applying it sort of by yourself, you kind of think of a more artistic kind of way of applying the paint, you know. So I kind of always think like it's like a story in a weird way. So I'm thinking, oh, in my head, like Boba Fett fell down on something and tripped on something which scuffed this part. So where he's fallen down, it's sort of like scuffed here, and where he's tried to catch himself, it's scuffed up here as well. So it kind of falls in line. So I'm kind of thinking like a realistic type of sort of weathering. So it's kind of like it's the story of like how he got that kind of like mark and that scuff and stuff on there. So that's kind of why I like doing it more dry brush than I do just caking something in black. That's how I started. There's no reasons why it doesn't work. It's fine. But now I just kind of like applying it just in the areas that I would like to see. So this is my black wash. It smells really potent because it's got some dirty old water in there, which is nice. So then I use like a brush that's kind of flat tipped, a bit like this one. So it's nice and flat. And that with that you can get in some nice sort of scrapey areas and other sort of dirty areas as well. So need to get some new brushes as well. These are falling apart. So we get some mix on there, which is water and mainly a little bit of black in there. And then what I do, I use my towel and then get off all the excess until literally it's just a little bit on there. And then to get rid of most of the excess as well, don't start somewhere where you feel like it's going to be delicate on the figure. Start down the bottom where it's the boots, because the boots are going to be the dirtiest part. So if you've got too much black wash or black paint on your paintbrush, it's not going to matter too much because you're going to get rid of it all at the feet, which is the most dirtiest part. Right, I've gone a bit heavy-handed with the black wash over the top of, because when you're looking at the figure, so this is the Typhon Boba Fett. He's got an undercoat, like his under stuff is like brown. But this book of like the Boba Fett, so Lee, I'm doing the throne room Boba Fett. So I've gone over with a bit more of a darker black for the wash, and I've just not over the actual armor, but just all over the clove part to really bring out more emphasis of black than it is brown on there. So I've just gone over with that. So that'll dry off. Once I've done all this, I'll do a matte coat as well over the top of it. And that's kind of it. I've actually just looked at a small little few details on the side of the Boba Fett helmet. He's supposed to have like this sort of little horseshoe kind of looking sort of bit of stuff on there. So I thought it might be fun to add that on there rather than just being all yellow. So I'm just going to go off and look at these in detail. This is supposed to be the what I'm looking at is supposed to be the Hot Toys Boba Fett, but I'm really looking at it and the body, the clothing of it. I wouldn't be impressed paying 250 for it. It almost looks a bit like the old Sideshow stuff. It doesn't look great. Anyway, so I'm going to scoot down. I did see the side of his helmet on one of these panels. So yeah, that side's like a silver as well. Yeah, I might add that, you know. It just might add a little bit more detail to it. So grabbing the old silver again. So these sort of bits here, I mean, sometimes it's sort of like knowing when to stop when you're painting the Black Series, because otherwise they're just, as much as you want them really cool, you don't want them to look like a real sort of weird model kit type form. That's my opinion anyway. You know, like when you see people paint some clone troopers and stuff, as amazing as they look, and I would wish that I could actually paint to that kind of sort of thing, I think sometimes it just looks a little bit too moddy kitty compared to like the rest of your Hasbro collection, unless you was going to go off and repaint the whole entire collection of your Black Series, and that's fine. Okay, so we've added that as silver on that side, and on this side it's got like a little black line, a little bit of white. So I think I'm just going to add it as black, because if I do the white, it's going to be too. I haven't got a paintbrush ideally for it, so I'm just going to do a little black horseshoe. And then just for the other side that I'll paint silver, I'm just going to go off and give that a little bit of a black wash so it doesn't look too silvery. Whoosh. Paintbrush is all falling apart. I've got like covered in wood bits. All right. Okay, so he's drying off nicely. So the last thing I wanted to add to the actual figure, I just want him to sort of stand out a little bit. We're going to give him a little bit of a dry brush once again over the black, and that's using the buff. It's a great sandy colour, works pretty well as long as you get it into a nice sort of stroking thing. So I'm actually going to use the same brush that I used for the black wash. Right. Yeah, I've got I'm recording up here, so there will be later on. There'll be another episode. So it's just kind of a way of me sort of like doing two videos. So we're doing a live as I hang out recording, but I'm actually recording all the footage at the top here. And then I'll do the voiceover and, you know, the other stuff that I normally do. So. Okay, that's that. And then just going to do the gun, bit of black wash over that gold. Trim it all down. Done. How bad was it? 1 hour. 1 hour. So this is the frame room Boba Fett that I've updated. A couple of reasons being was one of it was the helmet was just awful. So I've updated that. So put this over there. There's guns here. There and then. Done. So it's just a matte clear coat that's just gone over the figure. keep all that paint sealed away nicely out, and then it will just bring all that sort of like paint down, all that glossiness, including his face, just to make it a bit more of a nicer looking figure. End of all. So yeah, all done and dusted. Yeah, so all done. Just let this dry off. I try and pull it on the camera, but it's never that great, really, putting it straight onto the thing there. So, but I hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone's got pretty cool stuff. I haven't really purchased anything really. I've found it quite hard to get motivated lately to do videos, collecting, anything like that. I've still got Craven the Hunter to do. I've actually got Snips. She seems quite a cool little figure. Some of the actual accessories though kind of remind me a little bit of 3.75, like from not now, but like yesteryear. You know, very sort of like cheap looking and stuff on there. But the actual figure, she looks pretty cool. I've not actually gone and sort of played with her yet. I've just opened her up and then that was kind of it. But yeah, she's looking pretty cool. Really good looking face though, which is nice. And I kind of like it. They've actually done a teen body. I was kind of expecting her to be quite tall. So they've actually made like a teenage type body as well, which is probably the first, I think, for Black Series. Right, so here he is, all kind of done. That matte spray on his head has actually come off really well. I don't know if it's not that type of camera, to be honest. But yeah, so he's got all these extra chip-ins all over his arm, got extra silvers, got all the bullets and done up. Like the gauntlet parts there, with the extra silver parts, and the darts, all that on there as well. Which is good. Well, I would say Amiga she's child, isn't she? I mean, I don't know how old she is, but she's definitely like a 9-year-old, isn't she? She's not 9, 10. I wouldn't say teen. Well, not a mid-teen anyway, a bit like what Snips is here. She's there. So now he can actually put on his helmet. And I've got his backpack as well. Yeah, he looks good. He does look good. I do say so myself. Looks a lot better. Oh, the gun's not dry yet, so it's got a little while to go. Oh yeah, I'm liking it. I like it a lot. Right, so yeah, I would say Amiga. I mean, we've got young. I mean, they need to do young Boba Fett. They need to do. I think they're bringing out Anakin as a young child as well, aren't they? So they need to do more Anakins. I mean, this guy's been around for ages now. You know, he's like the face of Star Wars. Probably like what most of the fans replicate as the hero of Star Wars compared to old timers like me, let's say Luke Skywalker. But yeah, that's kind of what I would say. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go off, make some dinner. I'll put this into a video. I'm not too sure when it will be released, but hopefully by the end of the week anyway. I'll take my time doing it so I don't sort of burn myself out, and just enjoy sort of bringing it together. And finally, we've done Boba Fett, one of the Boba Fetts, and we will do this one very, very soon. And then we repaint some of the clones as well. So hopefully get some of those at some point as well. So yeah, I'm going to go. And thanks for hanging out with me on this one. Hope you enjoy it the rest of your Sunday afternoon. And I'll chat to you later. Take care. Bye.